Throughout the show, kindly refrain from the use of flash photography. And at this time, I'm going to invite you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Mild love today may tomorrow give way to madness. Say not, if I may love, and yet escape the follies of loving, but rather, only a miracle can bring a man safe from love.
This has gone on for 3 long years.
Prince of Time, shall your...
Yes. Whom do you have for me tonight?
No one, my lord.
What?
The people are all one cry of horror. Many have fled with their remaining daughters. There are no more girls to serve for this assault.
Have you no daughters, my noble wazir?
Oh, Prince of Time,
Faithful servant, have you no daughters? 2, I believe. Dunyazad and Scheherazade. 2 girls, I've heard, whom in the matters of beauty, charm, brilliance, and perfection are unrivaled, except by each other.
It is true.
Bring me Scheherazade tonight, and tomorrow, bring her shroud. And don't look so sad. You are about to be the father of a queen, if only for one night.
My father, why do you look so sad? No, father, that is the poet says. You who are sad, oh, be comforted, for nothing endures, and just as every joy vanishes away, so also vanishes every sorrow.
Heart, my heart, I can't delay it any longer. We must marry our king and die. Or else we can leave everything we have and run to the desert.
By Allah, I will marry this king. I am filled to the mouth with stories, and I have a plan by which I will save the daughters of the Muslims. And Dunyazad will help.
Heart, my heart.
Father, this is written in my destiny. Now bring me my wedding clothes and sing me on my way.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Scheherazade. Someday in the morning, or in the afternoon, or in the night, you will join me. We will be together again. Don't cry.
How will I ever sleep?
Don't cry.
How will I ever sleep without the stories?
What is she going on about?
Nothing.
I'll never hear stories again. I'll never hear about Aladdin or the goodness of generosity or how the madman got rid of his wife. I'll never hear the tale of the dream or the forgotten melody or the sympathy to learn it.
What is this?
Nothing.
These turn words are so sweet and gentle, pleasant.
Have mercy, she's just a child.
Stories.
I never sleep.
Oh, sister, tell us well, we'll tell tomorrow, tell him now.
Gladly, and as of duty, if the great and courteous king permits.
It is permitted.
Have you heard, O auspicious king, of the great and honorable Harun al-Rashid, a great Khalifa of his time, that...
Harun al-Rashid? Of course! What do you think?
Yes, well...
Have I heard of Harun al-Rashid? Is this all you have to say to me?
It is related that one night Harun al-Rashid felt himself weighed down by a heavy depression.
Brother and Wazir, my heart is heavy.
O King of Time, all joy and sorrow come from within. But sometimes outside shows may have an influence upon these humors. Have you made any trial of any outside shows today?
I have taken up my finger and let fall all of the jewels of my treasury. The rubies, the emeralds, and the sapphires. But not one of them could lift my folded pleasure. I went to my harem and passed in review the copper-colored and the brown, the dark and the white, but none of them could lift my folded pleasure. I even went to my stables, but none of my countless horses could amuse me. And the veil of the world has not lifted.
What do you say we visit the madhouse, my lord? To my way of thinking, the mad have much more subtle understanding than the sane. They behold differences and affinities which are hidden amongst common men and are often visited by strange visitors.
As Allah lives, said Harun al-Rashid.
Let us go at once.
They left the palace and made their way to the madhouse.
We've had a shortage of fresh lunatics lately, my lord. I attribute the falling off to a general deterioration in the intellect of all of Allah's creatures. I do have one madman for you, though I must confess, he does not seem to be so very mad to me.
Have you been locked away for madness?
As Allah knows, I am neither raving mad nor melancholy mad. I am neither an idiot nor a normal stupid person. But in my line of interest, I'm so singular that with a rhythm with a needle in the corner of my eye. Still, they will serve as a lesson to the circumspect.
Our ears are open. And you have all of our attention.
I am a merchant and a son of a merchant. Before I was thrown into this place, I had a shop in the market where I sold bracelets and other costly ornaments for women. The story begins when I was only 16 years old and already had a reputation for seriousness, honesty, and chastity. I never tried to make conversation with my women customers and only spoke the necessary words of Princess Sale. I practiced the precepts of the book and never, even my eyes, upon any daughter of the faith. The other merchants, they held me up as an example to their sons, for I already knew how to hold myself above desire, and I understood the proper place for women and the proper place for men. One day, as I sat reading my account book,
Is this the shop of the noble so-and-so?
It is.
And are you he?
I am.
I have something for you.
Well,
It comes from my mistress, and
you may approach me. You must know their reputation or my honor.
It comes from my mistress, and she awaits the favor of an answer.
Love has filled my soul with wine and gold. The black scorpions in my ear. Come with me to the bath, beloved, and I will. What's this?
It's an ode.
A what?
It's an ode to you from my mistress.
Who is this heart of Christ to me?
She waits the favor of an answer.
How dare this foul woman write to me? Cast back to her! Carry us back to her throne of 1,000 shameless wars! Cast back to your foul mistress! Cast back to your king's master! Your mistress! This happened, my lords, when I was only 16 years old. And I tell it as an example of my virtue and the purity at the time. But not to push about Ramadan, I will only say that months and years passed, and I became a man. I began to think it was time for me to marry a wife in the sight of Allah. And I did marry. I thought of this. I did so. One afternoon, as I sat reading my account books, I heard a commotion in the street. I looked up, and I saw a remarkable thing.
Young man, have you a choice of gold and silver ornaments?
Yes, mistress, I do.
Show me some ankle rings, if you will. Try them for me. What's the matter?
I'm sorry, mistress, but surely none of us will ever fit your ankle.
Do not trouble about them, young man. I will ask you for something else. Tell me, is it true then, as they say at home, that I have an elephant's legs?
The name of Allah be upon you, in the perfection of ankles. Gazelles will not have jellies at the sight of them.
And yet you say your ankle rings will never fit.
Because they're too large and rough for ankles such as yours.
Oh, I thought they were quite otherwise. Now, show me some bracelets. I am weary today. Try them for me, please. What have you seen, young man? I am maimed and web-fingered, am I not? I have arms like a hippopotamus, have I not?
The name of Allah be upon you, and upon the wide curves and the child's wrist. My smallest bracelets, made for children, would give outrageously above its limb transparency.
Then they were not right. Now, show me some gold necklets and breastplates.
Cover them, Allah do them.
What? Will you not help me to try on the gold necklets and breastplates? It doesn't matter. I will ask you for something else. I am rough and hairy, am I not? With breasts like a buffalo cow? Or is the other rumor correct? That I am all bone and dry like a saltfish, and as flat as a carpenter's bench?
The name of Allah be upon you, and the hidden beauty and the hidden fruit.
Were they fooling me then, when they told me I had the ugliest hidden things in the world? Oh, never mind. And have you any belts? No. Try it for me. In Allah's name.
Mistress, I cannot fit.
I know. They say I am deformed with a double hump behind and a double hump in front. With a horrible belly and a back like a camel's. Is it not so?
Dear mistress, although this belt was made for an infant princess, It is too large for a waist, which casts no shadow. For a waist, which would fill the heart with cry, with despair, when he was making the letter S. For a waist, which would wither the banshee from sheer spite. For a waist, which would shame the pride of a young peacock. For a waist, which would burn a bamboo stem.
You surprise me, young man. They are not very complimentary about my waist at home. Now, perhaps you could find me some earrings and a gold frontlet for my hair. I see, young man, you are struck dumb by my ugliness. My own father, when I was born, took one look and had every mirror hidden from me for pity. So I've been spared. I've never seen myself. But I've heard from many repetitions that my face is a hideous thing. A parchment pitted with smallpox, a blind right eye and a bleared left, a stinking mouth with broken teeth. They say I have cropped ears, my hair is broken and frayed, and the invisible horrors of my interior are not to be named.
The name of Allah be upon you, and upon great beauty, visible and invisible.
Then you do not find me a horror?
By Allah, no.
You would not deceive me?
Never.
Alas, why does my father hate me so? For it is he who attributes all of these horrors to my appearance, and all my life I have lived as he has named me, horrible, unwanted, and unloved. I am glad that you seem to think I am not so. I do not think my father wishes to call me ugly. I imagine he must have a hallucination which casts an ugliness upon all he seems. But whatever the reason, he so hates the sight of me that he's ready to sell me to a merchant of slaves.
Who is your father?
The Sheikh al-Islam in person.
Rather than sell you, would he not let me marry you?
Young man, I thank you for your offer. It is a great kindness. But you don't know what you are saying. My father is a scrupulous man who thinks his daughter a repulsive monster. He would not willingly wed her to one such as you.
There must be some way.
Listen, you might do worse than to try to gain his consent. Tomorrow morning, present yourself to my Holy Father, and after exchanging pleasant greetings and comments about the hotness and dryness of the day, ask him for my hand in marriage. He is certain to say, "May Allah preserve your youth, my son. My daughter is a creature altogether helpless. There is nothing to be done for her. She is crooked and hideous." But you must cry out, "I am content.
I am content.
He will go on. "I thank you for that, my son, but my daughter is not for any strong and handsome youth. She is." But you must go on.
I am content. I am content.
You forced me to the pain of plain speech. If you were to be marrying my daughter, you'd be wedding the most terrible monster of our time.
I am content.
But my poor boy, she's blind of an eye. Her ears are cropped. She is lame and stinking. A dribbler, a pisser.
I am content.
She is disgusting and vicious, snot-nosed and forever farting.
I am content.
She is bearded and flat-bellied. She's short of an arm and has a club foot. Her left eye is covered with a film. Her nose is a mass of oily pimples. Her face is one sieve of smallpox. Her mouth a cesspit. Her teeth are right. Her interior organs are one mutilation. She is bald and incredibly scabby. She is a horror, an abomination of desolation.
I am content. I am content. I am content. 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 Spare yourself the task of description, but I will go on soliciting a daughter, no matter what you find us here of her. I have a taste of horrors, my lord. When there's such as afflict all of a daughter, I can only repeat, I am content, content, content.
If you are to persist in this madness, I will give you my slow consent. But You must sign a contract in front of witnesses that you will accept your bride with all her faults. And if you dare divorce her, you will pay a ransom of 20,000 gold dinars.
I agreed to these conditions, and would have agreed 1,000 more. How can an obscure merchant win such happiness? Is it true then that I'm to rejoice and take my ease with all the beauty? There was no celebration, no wedding feast, but I could not have been happier. As I was counting down the moments until I could see the perfect beauty in all her glory, I made myself ready. At the first silver moment, we bound into my bride's bed. Oh, horrors of horror! May you never see such a sight! I saw the most repulsive, the most repugnant, the most grotesque, the most deformed, the most disgusting creation of a nightmare. She's worse than the description which a lovely and wicked girl have given of her. She's a monster of amalgamation, a rat so full of horror that I should rant if I describe her even now. I had willingly, eagerly, madly married the no-sinning compendium of all disgusts, which have ever entered the imagination of the damned. The next morning, I fled to that sorrowful place back to my shop. But no sooner was I there than I saw the maiden of love made perfect. The vision of desire who had cast me into hell come smiling toward me, middle of her legs.
O bridegroom, may Allah put a crown upon your happiness. May joy abide with you.
Why have you stopped?
It is dawn, my lord.
Oh, sister, if the king shows her now, she'll never understand the man.
Perhaps if I were to live one more day, but I see from the window that my father is waiting with my shroud.
By Allah, he may wait another day.
May I not speak to him?
No.
The king departed to sit in judgment,
Raising some to office and lowering others. But when the second night had come,
And standing in the entrance of the shop, the woman said, "May joy abide with you and your new wife."
You call your repent, you wicked girl, you bowl of tar? You are not the daughter of Sheikh al-Islam.
No, no more than you.
May Allah curse the our meeting. May he damn the foul blackness of our soul. Why have you done this, you wanton whore? Why have you tricked me and destroyed my life?
What is all of this sounding brass? Have you forgotten the ode I wrote and sent to you so many years ago? Your great virtue and my poor little slave? Oh, merchant, you should have listened when perfect love first came
in truth, I repent.
Too late.
I see clearly how gross and foolish was my conduct towards you and your little slave. How vulgar and hypocritical. How full of stupid vanity and
Unfounded pride.
Please, dear mistress, it was so many years ago. Pardon me this once, please. This once.
I will pardon you this once, but you must promise never to do the like again.
Oh, dear mistress, perfect love. I knew your protection and look for deliverance at your hands.
I have already thought of that. Since I am the one who caught you, it is only right that I should set you free.
But how? I've signed a contract.
Listen carefully, and you will soon be free of that unfortunate girl. First, you must go to the house of Sheikh al-Islam and call together all the acrobats, quacks, dancers, idiots, fools, clarinets, and funny men that you find there. Then, you must go to the house of Sheikh al-Islam.
I must say I never expected my daughter to find such happiness. She is happiness itself. You see, her mother was frightened by a fire and delivered her before her time.
She was delivered at perfect time for me.
Well, I must say I never expected... Did you hear something?
No.
Well, as I was saying...
May Allah's blessings be upon you. In the name of all your new family, I wish you prosperity.
Who are these people?
Oh, cousin, know that we will never, ever desert you.
You know these people.
And as you have made this your new home, so it is ours as well. Forever and ever and ever.
Are you the son of a quack? Are these vile gypsies kin to you?
Because I love the daughter and her honor. But I cannot deny my birth and family. Blood remembers blood. Now, let's do the family dance!
The family dance!
Young man, your marriage contract is illegal. You have falsified your parentage.
Let's do the family dance!
No! We will not do the family dance. You cannot remain in the house of Sheikh al-Islam. You cannot remain married to my daughter.
Oh, no, I want her. I will not divorce her in all the kingdom of Iraq.
You shall divorce her.
But every one of her hairs is more precious to me than 1,000 lives.
Aww. The family dance!
Please, protect my honor, and Allah will surely protect yours.
By Allah, I will not remain in the house of one who does not love my family. Here in front of witnesses, I put away your daughter. I put her away once, twice, 3 times.
And thus an end to this unfortunate business.
Shall we come together now, dear master?
In your house or at my shop?
Poor lad. Don't you know that a woman has many preparations before such things can be?
But my shop is large enough to hold us both, and if you lower, burn it to the ground. There is the rest chamber of my heart.
Your compliments have improved in quality over the years.
Let's hurry up, people. Wasting time clamoring within me.
Before the fight, O soldier, let me hear if you know the name of your antagonist.
You're stopping now.
It is dawn, my lord, and my father has returned with my shroud.
Let him wait another day. Tonight you shall finish the story and then die.
Before the fight, O soldier, let me hear if you know the name of your antagonist.
Where shall I begin?
Where you like. Life and love lived, love and life together for 30 days and nights, my lord, until a giddiness came over me, and I dared to say,
I don't know why, my dear mistress, but I can't do it again today.
but the 12th time is the most important. The first 11 don't count.
Yeah, it is impossible. Impossible.
Then you must have rest, my poor, you must have rest.
When I heard that, I lay down and fainted away. Woke up with his chains fastened to the wall of man. I asked the chief of police, why am I here?
You must have rest, the young woman said.
He must have rest.
Even if you had been chained here for madness, I would have freed you for the sake of the story. Young lady, I know the trouble that was between you in the past, and I take it upon myself that this shall not happen again. The lad is well rested and ready for anything.
I hear and I obey. I am prepared to live with him again.
I thank you, my child. You have lifted a great weight from my heart.
They lived together in all delight and the practice of every virtue, knowing each day more admirable than the last, and the nights whiter than the days, until they were visited by the destroyer of joy, the separator of friends, and died. But glory be to he the living, who dies not, who reigns over the visible and invisible world.
By law, I will remember that story.
My king, it is early yet.
What of it?
Let me make the darkness gentle for you. There will be time to kill me with the dawn.
Tell me, do you know any moral anecdotes?
Moral anecdotes, O auspicious king, are tales of which I know best. I could tell you 1 or 2 or 3 from the perfumed
Begin
garden.
quickly, for a great weariness weighs upon my soul tonight, and I doubt whether your head is safe upon your shoulders.
Listen then. But first I must warn you. Although these tales are very immoral, they may seem licentious or lewd to those with gross and narrow minds.
Well, don't let that stop you. But if you think these tales unfit for the little one who listens, I do not very well know why. Among the carpets at our feet, send her away at once.
I think she should be allowed to stay, for to the pure and clean all things are pure and clean, and there's nothing shameful in speaking of those things which libel our wastes.
Begin at once.
It is related that a certain jester lived in the court of Harun al-Rashid.
And so the camel said to the merchant, and with prices like these, you won't be getting any more.
You are a bachelor, are you not?
Yes?
Yes! Well, I've conceived a
Don't
keen
say,
desire to see you married.
No, king of time. I pray you spare me that felicity. I am a bachelor through fear of the sex. I have abstained so that it may never happen upon some debauched, adulterous, whoring women. I pray to you to think of all my faults and all the ignoble qualities of my life, and please deny me the blessing of matrimony.
I'm sorry, but I can't help your feelings. Today, you must be married.
It's just that
Today!
All right.
Yeah, but marriage.
All right.
For half a year, or maybe 7 months, the jester lived at peace with his new wife, a beautiful and modest-seeming girl. But after, that there happened which was fated to happen. for no man can escape his destiny.
I have been invited this afternoon to the garden to take the good air with my friends. If you need me, you will know where to send.
No, I don't want you to do anything but enjoy yourself. You take a delight in the gardens, it will be an equal delight for me.
Farewell.
Farewell, my sweet.
Farewell.
Farewell, my love.
Farewell.
Praise Allah, I've gotten rid of that wild pig for one afternoon. Now I can send for my heart's delight. Who can that be? Not that dog of a husband back then, I hope. Oh, my pastry cook.
My tart.
You are earlier than usual.
I am. When I prepared my dough and rolled it and leavened it and stuffed it with almonds and pistachios, I realized it was a little too early for customers to be dropping by. So I said, shake the flour from your clothes, my friends, and go rejoice a little with your sweets. The dough is rising! The dough is rising! Who can that be?
I don't know. Go and hide yourself in the privy while I speak. Oh, my greengrocer. You are a little too soon.
That's right. But as I was returning from my kitchen garden this morning, I thought, we better take your fresh vegetables, your heroic cucumber, your exceptional pumpkin, and your embarrassing butternut to your sweets. They will rejoice her. Climb my vine, reap and sow, reap and sow. Who can that be?
I don't know. Go and hide in the privy while I speak.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I've been doing what you've been doing, and I'm here for the same reason as yourself.
Oh, my sweet butcher.
My sweet meat.
You are too soon.
When I finished slaughtering all my lambs for the day, I thought to myself, you better take your sweetest sheepskin. It will serve as a soft carpet for her head, and she will start her morning well for you. Bleat for me.
Who's that? Oh, quick! Take your sheepskin and hide yourself in the privy. Oh, my clarinet player! You are too soon!
Well, when I went to rehearsal today, none of the other players had come, so I determined to wait in the dwelling of my suite. Come here, my little piccolo. We seem a little flat today, just a little flat. Come, let's moisten our Who's that?
Allah knows. Perhaps it's my husband. Take your clarinet and hide yourself in the privy.
Peace be with you, friends. What are you doing here in this singular apartment?
Peace be with you, friend. Same thing as yourself.
Give me an infusion of anise and fennel, good wife. Things are moving, things are moving. I couldn't stay at the garden any longer. I had to come home to relieve
At
my...
the exact moment, the jester realized the predicament of his issue. But what if these four lovers were to turn on him and kill him to hide their crime? He decided to try a trick.
Oh, sacred messengers of Allah, I know you, I recognize you well. You, who are all white and flowery, might be mistaken for a pastry cook by the profane, but you are without doubt the holy patriarch Job, the Osiris. And you, oh saint with the box of excellent vegetables, surely you must be the great Kadir, who guards each orchard, who clothes each tree with a green diadem. And you, with the lion's skin, surely you are Cleopatra, queen of the Nile. And you, O most glorious angel with the heavenly horn. Yes, this one. Must certainly be Israfil, who shall summon us on the last day.
You are not mistaken, oh man. We are even as you named us, and we've come to earth through your privy because we wish to reward you for your great virtue, yes.
Yeah, and we could find no other chamber open to the sky?
Well, since you have done me this visit, O illustrious saints, will you grant me one wish?
Speak,
I guess.
speak.
Come with me to the palace of Harun al-Rashid. He will be greatly obliged when I introduce 4 such famous visitors to him.
We shall grant you that particular grace.
Oh, my lord, allow me to present to you 4 sacred personages. The Ulcerous Job, our Lord, Kadir Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile, and the angel Israfel, who shall announce the last judgment. I found them in my privy, my lord, and I owe the great honor of their visit to the saintly qualities of the wife whom you so generously gave me.
Have you gone mad? Or are you trying to kill me?
I only tell you what I have seen.
Do you not see that the prophet Job is a pastry cook? The prophet Kedar is a greengrocer. The queen of the Nile is a butcher. And the angel Israfel is my first clarinet, the master of my music.
I only tell you what I have seen.
Sons and daughters of 1,000 shameless horns. Tell me the truth. You are the lovers of that wife of his.
No.
I just said I was just there picking the bathroom. I swear.
On your knees, dog! Oh, Father of wisdom, I grant you your divorce. A curse on all women. And you lovers shall have your eggs torn from you. I've never heard such a story in my life. Gone!
But, quick as lightning, the pastry cook came forward, kissed the ground and said, "Oh, most auspicious king, if I tell you a story more wonderful still than the story of our adventure to the house of this honorable man, perhaps you may see your way clear to sparing my eggs." And the Honorable Harun al-Rashid said,
It is permitted.
and the pastry cook began the tale of the dream.
Allah is all-wise and all-knowing. That one night in Baghdad, a poor man lay down to sleep. While some in the city had fine carpets, some in the city had fine palaces and fine pillows for their heads. All he had was a bare floor in his little hut at the end of a cobbled street lined with palm trees in a gray stone courtyard containing a dry and cracked little fountain with a design of birds upon it. All of us are equal in our sleep, and in our sleep we may speak to God and hear our destiny revealed. This night, the poor man lay down with a heavy heart. And a man came to him in his dreams.
My poor man, know that your fortune lies far away in Cairo. Go and seek it there.
Your fortune lies far away in Cairo. Go and seek it there.
The very next morning, the poor man set out for Cairo. And after many weeks, much hardship, he arrived in the city.
Night fell. He could not afford to stay at an inn. So he lay down to sleep on the carpet of a mosque. That night, robbers entered into the mosque and from there broke into an adjoining house. Awakened by the noise, the owners raised the alarm and called for help. Help! 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 Help!
The police arrived. Found the poor man from Baghdad. Beat him. And threw him in jail.
3 3 days later, the chief of police ordered his men to bring the stranger before him.
Hey, what the heck? Come on. Bye-bye.
Where do you come from?
I come from Baghdad.
And what brought you to Cairo?
A man came to me in a dream saying,
My poor man, know that your fortune lies far away in Cairo. Go and seek it there.
But when I came to Cairo, the fortune I was promised proved to be the beating that your men so graciously gave me.
What a fool to believe in dreams. Know this, I too have heard a voice in my sleep. Not just once, but 3 times. It said,
Go to Baghdad and find a little hut at the end of a cobbled street, lined with palm trees and a gray stone courtyard, containing a dry and cracked little fountain with the design of birds upon it. Under that fountain, a great sum of money lies buried. Go there and dig it up.
But did I go? Of course not. Yet, fool that you are, I've come all the way to Cairo on the strength of one idle dream. Here, take this. It will help you on the way back to your country.
The poor man recognized at once the house and garden described in the dream of the chief police were his own. He took the money and set out promptly on his homeward journey. The poor man arrived in the garden, dug beneath the fountain, and uncovered the great treasure. And thus, the words of the dream were wondrously fulfilled.
That was an excellent tale indeed, Butcher, pastry cook, if it is true. But whether it is true or not, I do pardon you.
With that, quick as lightning, the butcher came forward, kissed the ground and said,
Most excellent king, grant me the same favor as my colleague, the patient cook, and I will tell you an even fairer tale, a tale that may inspire generosity.
It is permitted.
And the butcher began the tale of the contest of generosity.
It is related,
But Allah is all-wise and all-knowing, that once in the city of Baghdad, there was a boy and a girl who loved each other from infancy.
Cool is the night in the Rawa Valley where the rivers dip and the breezes carry. Spring and flowers where we'll marry. When evening comes, the moon will yield. Silver to work in the customer field, and every single night will sing 8, 9, 10. Cool is the night in the Rawa Valley where the rivers give and the breezes carry. It's spring with flowers where we'll marry. When evening comes, the moon will yield. Silver to work in the customer field, and every single night will sing 11, 12, 13. Cool is the night in the Rawa Valley where the rivers give and the breezes carry. It's spring with flowers where we'll marry. When evening comes, the moon will yield. Silver to work in the customer field, and every single night will sing 14, 15, 16.
And as they grew, the fortune of the boy's family rose while that of the girls fell.
Beloved cousin, have you heard? My father and mother are forced to marry me to a sheikh I've never seen. Beloved, have you heard?
No!
I'm supposed to leave tonight.
Then you must go now. It's growing dark.
What do you mean? It's midday. Can't you see the sun?
No. It's growing dark.
What do you see?
Nothing. The sun wakes in your eyes and the moon sleeps in the hollow of your throat. I've heard that you were going and now I've gone blind from grief.
Say what's in your heart.
A desert.
So she said,
As the poet says, when you passed on by my tent door, I said goodbye to all the world, forgetting how
necklace with copper bangles, lake hair lying in black angles. Dreams are pictures in the book of sleep, and no more mine, and no more mine forever, and no more mine, and no more mine forever.
Surely my new bride weeps as young girls do, because she has left her mother. Happily, this does not last long. A kind word will cure her. O light in my soul, why do you destroy the beauty of your eyes? Dear girl, if you're crying for your mother, say so, and I'll fetch her to you instantly. If you're crying for your father, or one of your sisters, or your nurse, or some pet animals, such as a gooster, a cat, or a gazelle, tell me, and you will no longer be separated from desires. Is it the house itself for which you weep, the house where you were young? I will take you back there at once.
My lord, I do not weep for my mother, my father, my sister, my nurse, or my pets. And I beg you not to insist I tell you the reason.
Fairest girl on earth, and I know what it is. You cry because I'm repugnant to you.
No, by Allah, I have no aversion to you. It's something else.
What then?
My grief and tears are for a dear one of my house, a cousin whom I grew up with, a cousin who loves me and whom I love. Oh, master, love's roots are in the heart, and love is torn away. Then the heart is torn away also.
The sheikh lowered his head and reflected for an hour.
Dear mistress, the law of Allah and His Prophet, upon whom be prayer and peace, forbids the believer to snatch even a mouthful of breath from another by force. How then can I snatch your heart? Rise up, my bridal minute, and go with my full consent to your cousin. Give yourself to him and return in the morning before the servants are up. From now on, this is how we shall live. You are as my daughter.
A blessing be upon you!
She left that good man's house, glowing in the night in her happiness and wedding jewels. But she had barely gone 20 paces when...
By Allah, my lucky night. Nothing for 6 weeks. And now a wedding guest ate all her jewels. Give me your jewels, I'll smash it to the earth. As Allah lives, you are the richest jewel of all. I will have you whole.
Oh,
Dear mistress, I'll do no harm to you if you're complacent. But I can promise you a most blessed night if you come with me. Dear mistress, I will neither rob you nor hurt you for give yourself to me freely. But you must stop the crying.
just when everything was going so well!
What did I say?
Just when everything was going so well, and I was going to the home of the one I love.
What wedding were you at?
My own! My parents forced me to marry a sheikh I'd never seen, but I've loved my cousin since infancy. When I told this to the man, the good man let me go.
Let you go?
Yes, he told me to consummate a marriage with my cousin and return to him as his daughter.
He did that?
Yes,
He let you go just like that?
yes, but now I've fallen into your hands. A robber is not like a sheikh. Do with me as you will!
Where does he live, his cousin, my love?
In a house, on a garden in such and such a street in such and such a place.
I will now lead you to your cousin's house. Dear mistress, no one shall ever accuse me of microaggression of interfering in the course of true love. The win is for all, the fruit is for one, and the one is not I.
So saying, he took her by the hand and escorted her, as if she were a queen, up to the house of her beloved.
By Allah, I can see you. Whose hands are these?
Beloved?
Who are you to speak to me in the voice of mine?
Your cousin!
Beloved cousin, what have you done? How have you...
She explained to him all of her adventures on this strange night.
But nothing would be gained by repeating it in this place.
What a generous man, this sheik. Great deeds inspire greater deeds. Beloved cousin, there's only one thing we can do. I must return you to that saint. Untouched.
What?
Beloved cousin, do you agree?
In the face of such virtue, what else can we do?
Dear children, don't tell me why you're here. I have already guessed. But you must know this. When a believer has claimed his wife to be the daughter of his flesh and blood, no power can give lie to his words. You owe me nothing, my children. I'm in bondage to my oath.
So saying, that good man gave the two of them his house and all of his goods, and went to live in another city.
Now, Prince of Time, let us stop and consider. Who was the most generous? Was it the lover, the thief, or the husband?
They're all idiots.
Then we'll decide for ourselves. Was it the lover? Was it the thief? Or was it the husband?
That was an edifying tale indeed, Butcher. I pardon you.
With that, the greengrocer came forward, kissed the ground, and said,
No disrespect to my colleagues, the pastry cook and butcher, but I too have a tale concerning a curd and a butcher that may delight your honorable majesty.
It is permitted.
And the greengrocer began the tale of the wonderful bag.
One day, in the marketplace of Baghdad, someone let fall a little bag and walked on without noticing.
Get in the bag. In the bag. Okay. Okay. Woo. Woo. Get in the bag. Okay. Okay. Give me back. No. Give me back. Give me back. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me back. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Wretched unbeliever who plans to make off with my bag.
This bag is known to be my bag. In fact, it's universally known to be my bag. Hold on.
Who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant?
A lie! A law increases the power of our Connie and judge. This bag is my bag. I lost it and found it again in the street today.
When did you lose it?
Yesterday, and I could not sleep all night for thinking of it.
Man, I lift up and on our best to the Connie. I lost that bag 2 weeks ago, and I could not have slept without it since.
The truth shall be uncovered sooner. Whoever is the true owner of the bag shall best be able to describe its contents. Each of you will give a list, and whoever's list is closest to the true inventory of the bag shall own the bag and everything in it.
Oh, Connie, in the bag are a few hazelnuts, 3 blue hats, don't really know why they're in there, but I just kind of put them in there, a couple t-shirts, a giant staircase, a step ladder, 3 small children, don't know how they got in there either, a couple drafts, some grass, a few trees, oak trees. You see, I'm allergic to all of the trees, so the bag would like set off an allergic reaction. Don't like that, no. So I put some oak trees in there. In the bag are a few shoes, some socks, Another couple of small girls. See, the other 3 small children were little boys, but then I put a couple small girls in there too. In the bag is my house. You see, Cotty, I don't like leaving home, so I just decided to put my house in the bag so I can bring it wherever I go. And also in the bag is the entirety of Africa. Yes, I put a whole continent in my bag. And in the bag are a few light bulbs, and in the bag are a few tables, and all are willing to swear that this bag is my bag.
Yep, that was it. Got it! In the bag are a few strawberries and a whole vine of purple grapes. No green grapes, no. Green grapes are for weeds. No one likes green grapes. No one. No one. Only purple grapes are allowed. Only. In the bag, I also have a few bees, a few spiders, some cantaloupe. Everyone likes cantaloupe, right? Right? Yeah. I have 1 watermelon cut up into 8 slices for all 8 of my mice that are living with me inside of the bag. I also have a bunch of fire ants. Why do I have a bunch of fire ants? Well, I'm not what you would call a people person. So, I have this neighbor, and I don't like this neighbor, you see. So every night, I take my bag with me, I reach into the bag, I use a wrench to get my way through his locked door, and then I sneak into his bedroom. And not only do I put, a bunch of rotten apples around his bed so that he smells whenever he gets up, but I also dump in fire ants into his bed. Turns out that these weren't fire ants, they were just ants that were on fire. So that didn't work out so well because his bed was made out of fire. So I dipped. I'm like, nope, this house is burning down. Let it burn to the ground. Nope, I'm out, no way. So I have a few, so that's why I moved to this city because, I had a past criminal record. You can find all the papers and whatnot inside of the bag if you would like to look. But Cotty, I swear to you, I swear, I can't make this stuff up, Cotty. I swear that bag is my bag. Oh my God.
Cotty, in the bag are a few things I forgot to mention. In the bag are my 3 pet squirrels. You see, Cotty, I think squirrels are amazing, so I decided to train them. They can do a bunch of tricks, Cotty. I can show you when you give me back the bag, because, you can get a great show. Isn't that amazing, right? And also in the bag is my little sister. Now, why is she in the bag, you ask? I was taking a nap the other day. It's a very nice nap, Cotty. And she walks into my room and goes, Persian, wake up! I'm like, no, she annoyed me. I wanted to take my nap. So what did I do? I put her in the bag. And I don't think she's eaten in the last couple days because I forgot to give her food. So, I need that bag back so she can eat. Because that's a problem. In the bag are also a couple apple trees, and in the bag is also an elementary school. Why an elementary school? Cotty, I teach. Worst decision of my life. And Cotty, I also have a few chalkboards, a couple whiteboards in there too. They're in the different classrooms. And the school has about, 700 children. Again, I don't know why I chose that profession. That's horrible. And in the bag is also a giant theater. We don't really use it. It's kind of deserted, Halloweenish, but I don't really know why it's in there. And in the bag are a couple pieces of fabric, and all are willing to swear that this bag is my bag.
Now, Cotty, listen. In addition to the things that I've mentioned before that are inside the bag, there are also a few more things that I just remembered that are inside the bag. You see, I like snow, all right? I like snow, but where am I going to find snow around here, right? It's always warm weather, So what does a reasonable person do? Do I move to a place where it's slightly colder than it is here out in the desert, right? No. I traveled down to Antarctica. I take Antarctica. Sorry, penguin, but penguins, you can stay and come inside my bag as well. So I put all of Antarctica inside my bag. So whenever I'm hot, I just go inside my bag. I mean, I can fit. It's very easy. Very easy. But also, it gets a little lonely there. I mean, sure, the penguins, they're good company, but, it gets lonely. So what do? Do
do I go out and make friends? No, that's too hard. No. No, I go to local orphanages. You see, orphans. I like the idea of giving, a kid a home, whatnot, and that home is my bed. And Antarctica. And the penguins. It's very nice. In fact, they quite like it. Of course, the people there that were looking after the orphans, like, who is this guy walking into the orphanage? Like, are you here to adopt a child, or are you just kidnapping them? I'm like, lady, don't worry. They're going to be safe. Would you like to come in the bag as well? Yeah, she dipped. She's gone. But I found her eventually. And believe me, you know where she is now? No, she's in the bottom of the river. In addition to that, Connie, I also have two people, all right? I have one person, this person, like, they think they know everything. They're super smart. And then we have the other person. You see, the smart person killed the other person's father. So, what happens? Well, the other guy, the one whose father is dead, he steps up and he says, whips out a sword. My name is Inigo Montoya. He's my father. Prepare to die. The other guy is like, no, ha, you fool. No, physically we are close. Mentally we are light years away. I've been preparing for this very moment since the day you were born. And then he gets stabbed. It didn't work out so well for him. No, not at all. I also have my collection of hats. I like hats. A lot. Hats are cool and fun. Yes, very, very fun. But Connie, I swear to you, I swear that bag that you're holding in your hand right now, I swear to the skies, I swear to the ground, I swear to the burning ants right now, I swear that bag is my bag.
As Uncle Liz, either you or two rascals mocking at the law and its representatives, or this bag is a bottomless abyss, or the day of judgment itself. Let us see what's in this bag. A little orange stone and some pine nuts?
Okay, you can have it.
That is possibly the single most absurd story I have ever heard.
That is the single most absurd story I've ever heard as well. That bag is barely the size of your head. How can you believe it can contain a whole house?
But in our heads, my lord, we do contain all the images of the universe.
Impossible. Antarctica. And who is Inigo Montoya, anyway? On to the next story. I hope it's more reasonable, or you shall soon lose your own wonderful bag.
And the Honorable Harun al-Rashid said, that is possibly the single most absurd story I have ever heard.
I pardon you, greengrocer.
And at that, the clarinetist came forward, kissed the ground and said,
Oh, Prince of Time, I have a story even more absurd, if you will hear it.
It is permitted.
Perhaps you have heard, Harun al-Rashid, of the noble but most unfortunate Abu al-Hassan and his historic indiscretions at his own wedding.
No.
Know then, my lord, there was once a great merchant, Abu al-Hassan, a man of exquisite refinement, of perfect and complete manners, who, in his middle years, decided it was time to take a wife.
Rise up and sing the season, Abu al-Hassan is getting married. A rich merchant and a gentleman, see how perfectly his form is carried.
So dignified and somber, with elegance beyond comparing. His steps could teach a ship to sail, his flesh could warm the very air. And as they say, a glad wife is like a golden almanac, whose rose scented leaves are delicately pointing back.
And to the wedding season, where the breeze of benediction carries.
So rise up and sing the season, Abu al-Hassan is getting married. Abu al-Hassan is getting married. Abu al-Hassan is getting married.
The lovely young wife took her seventh and last tour of the room. Abu al-Hassan came forward with a slow and dignified step into the chamber. And to prove
prove that he was a man of gravity and good manners, he went forward to receive the wishes of the old women. But at that moment, with a belly full of meat and drink, he did something that he did not mean to do. May Allah preserve us all from doing the same.
Excuse me.
Oh, what an enormous fart! Shouldn't have eaten those chickpeas. Oh, what an enormous fart! Shouldn't have eaten those chickpeas. Oh, what an enormous fart! Oh, what an enormous fart! What an enormous fart! What an enormous fart! Enormous fart! Enormous fart! 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 Al Hassan, you better fly far! Shouldn't have eaten those chickpeas. Fly on out of here, Al Hassan. Get out of town as fast as you can. Get on a horse while you can. Shouldn't have eaten those chickpeas. Right to the coast, Al Hassan. Oh, what an enormous fart. Dive in the sea as best as you can. Oh, what an enormous fart. How could you be so indiscreet? Shouldn't have eaten those chickpeas. Pistachio nuts and almond cream. Now you've got to swim to sea. Get on a boat and row, row, row. Row, row, row your boat. Gently down your boat. Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat. Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Should have eaten those chickpeas. Sail as far as the Malabar coast. Shouldn't have eaten those chickpeas. Load a camel, join a train. Go to the desert with a caravan. Oh, what an enormous fart. How will you ever live it down? Go over mountains, find a town. Go over mountains, find a town. Go over mountains, find a town. I lived there for 10 years, and 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 lived there for 10 years, and 10 years.
Al Hassan, why do you look so sad?
I have lived here in India for 10 years. I've been happy, prospered, but I long for my native homeland. For as the poet says,
Ah, the Ganges, silver river men put first. How can an Egyptian sate his native Egyptian thirst? Saved by the smile of the mild Nile, saved by the smile of the mild Nile.
I can resist the salutations of my soul no longer. I must return to my home.
With that, Abu Hassan packed his bags, traveled home over treacherous mountains, filled with lions, snakes, and ghouls. Till at last, he reached the hill overlooking his native land. His heart swelled at the sight.
Ah, how beautiful my native homeland is. I am no doubt assumed dead and long forgotten. I shall travel the streets in disguise. Let my poor old father see me unexpectedly. The shock proved too much for him.
Mother, what day was I born?
Well, you were born the 12th day of Ramadan.
And Mother, what day was I born?
Well, you were born 2 weeks after the Great Sandstorm.
And what day was I born, Mother?
Well, let's see. You were born in the year and on the day that Abu Hassan let out his heart.
My first day on the calendar! It shows the mere palm trees!
With that, he turned and fled. And he did not cease his flight until he was back in India, where he lived in the bitterness of exile until his death. May Allah pity him.
Intermission. Intermission.
Scheherazade, it would give me great pleasure to hear one or two of those stories, for I am sure they are most entertaining. But tonight my mind is inclined toward higher things and would rather hear words of wisdom from you. If you know any tale which can fortify our souls with moral precepts and help us experience by the wise, then begin at once. Afterward, we shall hear some other sort of story.
By chance, I have been thinking all day of a girl called Sympathy the Learned. And I am ready to tell you all that I've heard, what she did, and what she knew.
Begin at once.
One day, when Harun al-Rashid was feeling more than the usual weariness of his soul,
My lord, there's a young man and young woman at our door who beg an audience.
Who are they?
My lord, the girl claims to be more learned than any man on earth. She wishes to challenge masters of art and science of our kingdom to a contest of knowledge. She says that she will claim the robe of honor of each sage over whom she is victorious. But if she is defeated by a single question, she will agree to be your slave.
Send her in at once. Now, all you theologians, doctors, and poets, you may examine the learning of this girl in all directions. Spare no pains in exhibiting your own erudition and scholarship. What is your name?
I am called Sympathy the Learned.
Tell me, Sympathy, in which of the various branches of knowledge do you excel?
My master, I have studied syntax, poetry, civil and canon law, music, astronomy, geometry, arithmetic, the law concerning inheritance, and the art of reading ancient inscriptions. I know the sublime book by heart. I'm acquainted with architecture, language, and philosophy, with eloquence, language, rhetoric, and the rules of versification. I have carried out my education so far
that only those who have worn out their life in study may see it, as it were, upon the far horizon. Tell me, which of you is the most learned in the Quran and the traditions of our Prophet, upon whom be prayer and peace?
I am that man.
Then, let us begin. Ask me what you will of your own subject.
Who is your Lord?
My Lord is Allah.
Who is your prophet?
Muhammad, upon whom be prayer and peace, is my prophet.
What is your orientation?
Mecca.
Who are your brothers?
All believers are my brothers.
Since you know the Book of Allah, can you give an example of your study?
The Quran is composed of 114 chapters, 70 of which were dictated at Mecca and 44 at Medina. It is divided into 621 divisions called decades and into 6,236 verses. It contains 79,439 words and 323,670 letters, to each of which attach 10 special virtues. The names of 25 prophets are mentioned: Adam, Noah, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Elijah, Jonah, Lot, Salih, Hud, Shuaib, David, Solomon, Dulkafel, Idris, Elias, Yahya, Zacharias, Job, Moses, Aaron, Abraham, Jesus, and Muhammad. Upon all of these be prayer and peace. And 9 birds or winged beasts are mentioned: the gnat, the bee, the fly, the hoopoe, the crow, the grasshopper, the ant, the bulbul, and the bird of Jesus, which is none other than the bat.
Very precise. Tell me, how do you know that there is a God?
By reason.
And where is the seat of reason?
In the heart, from whence inspiration rises to the brain.
Tell me, what is the aim of prayer?
To lift my soul towards the calm places.
Ya Allah, that was an excellent reply. What's the utility of prayer?
It sustains faith.
What is the value of prayer?
True prayer has no terrestrial use whatsoever, but it lightens the heart.
An admirable reply. Tell me, what is the meaning of the words to fast? What is the meaning of the words to give?
To enrich oneself, to attain the end,
war.
to defend
Speak to me of
oneself.
holy war.
A holy war is that undertaken against the infidels when Islam is in danger. It may only be taken for defensive purposes, never offensive.
What is the principal aim of life?
To cultivate enthusiasm.
What? Who? In truth, I'm short of questions and arguments. This girl astonishes me with her knowledge and clarity.
I would like, in my turn, to ask you one question. If you cannot answer, it will be my right to take away the distinctive garment which you wear as a learned reader of the book.
I accept.
What are the 17 branches of Islam?
17?
The first sage reflected for an hour.
If you can give us the answer, the role belongs to you.
They are observance of the book's teachings, confirmation with the traditions of the Prophet, avoidance of injustice, to eat permitted food, to never eat unpermitted food, repentance, the study of religion, to do good to enemies, to be modest, to comfort the servants of Allah, to pardon when one is strong, to be patient in misfortune, to know Allah, to know His Prophet, upon whom be prayer and peace, to resist the suggestions of the evil one, to fight against wicked instincts of the soul, to be wholly avowed in confidence to the service of Allah.
I am vanquished.
Who is next?
You have spoken of things of the spirit. Let us turn to things of the body and the world. What do you think of fruit?
It is the healthiest of foods.
Give an exact account of copulation.
My lord, I am able to answer this honorable doctor, but the honorable doctor is attempting to shame me into silence.
Speak freely. No one will laugh at you.
Copulation is the act which unites the sexes of man and woman. It is an excellent thing, having many virtues and conferring many benefits. Lightens the body and relieves the soul. It cures melancholy, tempers the heat of passion, attracts love, consoles in absence, contents the heart, and cures insomnia.
What thing lives always in prison, but dies when it breathes the free air? Also, what are the best fruits?
The first is fish, and the second citrons and pomegranates.
What breathes and yet is lifeless?
The morning, for in the
Yes,
book
thank you. Solve the following problems you can. A flock of pigeons alighted upon a tree, some upon the upper branches and some upon the lower. The ones upon the upper says to the ones upon the lower, if one of you flies up to us, our number will be double yours, but if one of us flies down to you, our number will be equal. You may take your time.
There were 12 pigeons in all, 7 upon the upper branches and 5 upon the lower. If one from the lower flew to the upper, there would be 8 above, which would be double 4. Now, if one from the upper flew down to the lower, there would be 6 in each position, but Allah is all-knowing.
Do you think we will have rain this month?
Commander of the faithful, I will not speak unless I have permission to reveal all of my thoughts.
It is permitted.
Then, lend me your sword, so that I may cut the head of this astronomer who is agnostic and an unbeliever. I must teach you that there are 4 things which only Allah knows: the hour of our death, the sex of a child in its mother's womb, what will happen tomorrow, and whether or not it is going to rain.
My question was asked to test you.
Now, let me ask my question. What are the 3 classes of stars?
3 classes of stars?
The stars are divided into 3 classes. Some are fixed like torches in the celestial vault, so that they may light the earth. Others are invisibly suspended, so that they may illuminate the sea. And the 3rd class of stars moves at will between the fingers of Allah. We see them passing through the air at night. Give me your robe.
Young lady, I am the most learned man in our century, and am ready to hear you declare yourself vanquished, and it is unnecessary to question further.
And I advise you to send for more garments other than those which you have on, for in a moment I will have taken those from you.
That remains to be seen. Answer this riddle. When I drink, eloquence issues from my lips. I walk and speak in silence. I am never honored in my lifetime, yet after my death, I am not regretted.
A pen.
I'm a bird, yet I have neither flesh, blood, nor feathers. It is hard to say whether I'm alive or dead. My color is silver and gold.
You have taken far too many words to signify a simple egg. Ask me something more difficult.
Exactly how many words did I say to Moses?
1,515.
What is the origin of creation?
Allah made Adam from mud, mud from foam, foam from sea, sea from darkness, darkness from light, light from fish, fish from ruby, ruby from rock, rock from water, and the water he made by saying, let it be.
There are 2 friends who had never enjoyed each other, though they lie in each other's arms every night. They are the guardians of the house and only separate in the morning.
The 2 leaves of a door.
By Allah, this isn't a moderable reply.
Now, answer me, master of riddles. She is slim, tender, and delicate to the taste. She is as straight as a lance without a lance's sharpness. Her sweetness is useful on an evening in Ramadan.
My lord, it is well known that no woman...
Give me your robe.
My lord!
Sugarcane is the answer. Give me your robe.
May I examine you?
I would be delighted.
What is sweeter than honey?
The love of children.
What is sharper than a sword?
The tongue.
What is the joy of a moment?
The joy of love.
What is the joy of a week?
The joy of marriage.
What is the desolation which even the wicked cannot escape paying?
Death.
What is the desolation of life?
Poverty.
What is the most precious thing after health?
Friendship.
What is the strength of the mind?
Joy.
What is the strength of the heart?
Truth.
What is the strength of the body?
Submission.
What is desired?
Poison.
Charm?
An empty room.
Madness.
A road we have forgotten.
What comes to all of us in the end?
Happiness.
What makes kings?
Words.
What can destroy an empire?
Words.
What makes the world?
Words.
Will you marry me and be my queen?
No.
I can compel you.
I know.
I will give you 500,000 gold.
My lord, I am a free-born woman of noble birth. I have not always lived like this. The boy you see holding my parasol is my brother. When my father died, he left us with an abundant fortune, but my brother squandered our inheritance. He has no brains at all, and no more use than to shade me from the sun. Yet, as Allah lives, I love him, because my hidden heart is foolish, and I will not leave him.
My child, I have 100 slaves to hold your parcel.
Then keep them, and leave my brother with his only task. For if you deprive him of it, he will die in shame. I beg you, deny us your great offers, and let us go our way.
My child.
Kings do not need sympathy. She must lie with those less fortunate.
That sympathy was the clever girl. And yet you are more clever, I think. For you have memorized all that she said and more. Tell me, what did she mean there at the end?
I might be able to explain, my lord, but I see from the window that my father is waiting with my shroud.
You can wait another day, I think.
May I not speak to him?
No.
How is your heart tonight, my lord? Is it covered or uncovered?
Uncovered, I think.
Could you bear a sad tale, then?
Yes. Provided it is well stuffed with poems.
Then listen, and I will tell you of the night how Harun al-Rashid met himself upon the water.
Met himself?
Jafar, I have a desire to walk the quiet night streets of Baghdad as far as the Tigers.
I will accompany you as always, my lord, along with your sword bearer, Masroor. Shall we disguise ourselves as merchants once again?
They left the palace through the secret door and walked in disguise through the quiet streets of Baghdad, city of peace and poets, upon which be eternal blessing. Sometimes in that dark night, they thought they had lost their way, but at last they came upon the riverbank of the gentle Tigris.
Old man, we would be very much obliged to you if you would take us on board your little boat and row us for a while on the river to enjoy the delicacy of the night breeze. Here's a dinar for your trouble.
What are you asking, gentlemen? Don't you know the order? Can't you hear the bell of the Khalifa's boat coming toward us even now?
Old man, that boat cannot possibly contain the Khalifa himself.
By Allah, is there anyone in Baghdad who cannot recognize the Khalifa, our own Harun al-Rashid, with his Wazir Jafar and Masroor, his sword-bearer?
We are strangers to this fair city, do not know the Khalifa. Take us on board so that we may see him.
Are you mad? He has issued an order forbidding anyone, great or small, noble or simple, young or old, to be upon this river. Whoever disregards that order shall have their head cut off.
Here are 2 dinars. Put us on your little boat and row us under that sunken arch over there. We must see this Khalifa.
I cannot resist your gold, good sir. Climb aboard, but be silent.
I have not been on the river in a year, Jafar. Never have I issued any such an order.
Hurry! His music's getting louder and he's getting closer.
They followed the riverbank of the gentle Tigris until they came to a park which sloped down to a shore. The Khalifa disembarked with his company. The old man hid his boat in the gloom. The mock Khalifa and his company disembarked as well. But they had only gone 20 paces before they were recognized as intruders.
Who are you? How and why did you come here? We are strangers to this country. We only arrived in Baghdad today and walking at random came to this place without knowing this garden was forbidden.
Since you are strangers, you need have no fear. Had it been otherwise, you certainly would have had your heads cut off. Come with us now and be our guests for the evening.
they entered a magnificent hall, carpeted with yellow silk. The mock Khalifa took his seat upon a golden throne.
Oh, how weary I am after spending the whole day doing judgment, receiving chamberlains, wazirs, emirs, lieutenants, and forwarding matters of state. Let us have some music.
I am drunk with love, but the cup is held to my lips, and I must drink again. Why should I not wander in these ways, forgetting food, forgetting food. There is no joy in all these roads. There is no joy in all these roads. For I cannot meet my beloved, or one who has known my beloved, or one who has known one who has known my beloved.
As Allah lives, did you see his back? It is a pity that so noble a man should bear the scars of whips, a certain sign that he's an escaped criminal.
Why this air of astonishment and whispers?
My friend was just saying that he's journeyed over many lands and seen the fashion of their kings without meeting any as generous as our host. He also expressed his astonishment at seeing you rip a robe, which must have been worth at least 10,000 dinars.
You shall receive 10,000 dinars for that compliment, and a robe such as this one as well.
Ask him the cause of his scars.
It would be better to
ask him now.
What is this great secret?
Oh, nothing but good.
Tell me what you're saying.
My friend just noticed that your back has been cut about with rods and whips, a sight which greatly astonished him, and he was anxious to know what terrible adventure must have caused our king, the Khalifa, to receive such a punishment.
Clear the room. Since you are strangers, I will tell you what you want to know, but you must carry my secret to the grave, swear.
Swear.
My lords, I am not Harun al-Rashid, Caliph of Baghdad, but simply Aziz, son of the chief of Baghdad jewelers. I have wealth enough to sustain all this, but it is but shadow. I had an orphan cousin named Aziza, whose father, when he died, requested that someday she marry me. My parents kept us together all the time so that we became inseparable. We slept together in the same bed all our lives, in innocence, yet looking back, I think Aziza knew more about such things than I, for sometimes she lay upon my back in the morning, and sometimes she pressed her thighs to mine, and once she kissed me, here. One day, returning from the bath fresh-scented, I remembered a friend that I'd forgotten to invite to our wedding, and so I began to walk to his house, but I quickly lost my way. I sat down to rest, and then that little handkerchief was enough to cover up my whole life. I was insane with love for the unknown. I waited for her return. I waited for her return.
Aziz, you missed our wedding, and your father is furious. He forbids us to marry for another year. Our guests, the emirs, the merchants, and the Qadi waited for a long time, but then they left. Why have you behaved in this way?
I am in love.
Oh,
I am in love with the unknown.
what has happened?
I told her everything, including the sign the woman gave to me, which I did not understand.
My lucky cousin, this lady loves you as truly as you love her. The signs she gave you mean she has a passion for you and promised a meeting in 2 days.
You see, gentlemen, my cousin loved me so much that she devoted herself to my pursuit. And she was right in every way. I met the unknown woman again and again, and each time she did not speak, but gave me signs incomprehensible to me but clear to Aziza. A mirror placed in a bag.
The setting sun.
A ball.
She fears your heart is idle in the air.
A lantern extinguished.
The need to be discreet.
Some lotus beans.
From the tree of Job, father of patience, she reminds you this virtue is necessary for lovers.
Oh, Aziza, my heart is breaking. How much longer do I have to wait?
Lovers often have to suffer and endure through years and years of waiting. You have hardly had to wait a month. Perfume yourself with musk for her.
At last, after many trials and proofs, all communicated in signs, the unknown woman yielded to me. She led me to her house.
Never betray her, my cousin. Never betray her. And remember, when you finally have her in your arms, be sure to say these lines to her. If the red beating heart could speak, you would hear it saying that love is weak and very weak, and the end of love is breaking. Though in all indiscretion there is a death, too much discretion can cut short the breath.
Say these lines and say them whole
to the other woman who destroyed my soul,
and she will understand.
Asana lives. She who says it's sentenced to is now dead. I trust that she has no relation of yours, for I tell you, she is dead.
She is my betrothed, the daughter of my uncle.
What are you saying? Why do you lie? This isn't true. If she were true, you would have loved her.
But it is true.
As I will live, I will never take your man away from her if I had known. Tell me, did she know of your meeting?
It was her who communicated your signs to me. I would never have won you if not for her counsel and advice.
Then you had caused her death, Aziz.
It isn't true!
My son, I wish you to tell me in what way you broke Aziza's heart. Tell me how you killed her.
I did not kill her. How was I to know she loved me this way?
She left something for you when she died.
Let me see it.
She made me swear not to give it to you until you have truly grieved. And you have not truly grieved.
I left my mother's house. Instead of mourning Aziza, I forgot myself in pleasure while my beloved built a marble tomb for her. All went well for a year until one day, fresh scented from the baths, I discovered a girl in a garden, alone.
Come into my house.
Never betray her.
Come and pass
Never
the time
betray
today
her.
with me.
Never
My
betray
child?
her.
Don't be afraid.
Never betray her.
What harm is there?
Never betray her. Never betray her. Never betray her.
She was a girl alone in a garden. There was no sin a lover of love could not pardon. She was narrow as virtue, and easy as flying. But I was only halfway in when her petulant sighing stopped me. And I asked why.
Never betray
Why?
her.
And she said with a laugh,
Moon of my eyes, I sighed for your other half.
"Farewell, strange girl."
Where do you think you're going? Undeceive yourself, silly Aziz. Do you think the door of freedom is as large as the door of entrance? The doors of my house only open once a year.
So I stayed there for a year, living as an animal, eating, drinking, and making love, until 12 months passed and I heard the door groaning on its hinges and I ran out into the street. I returned to my beloved. Never had I seen a face so sad.
Miserable wretch, I know where you have been. Do you think I'm patient as Aziza? Do you think that I'm going to pine away and die for your infidelity? Detestable Aziz, you're like a bug who's too much in heat. Slaves!
10 women set upon me, my lords. They tied me down, and with a hot knife, they unmanned me. They cast me from the house. I ran back to the girl in the garden, but she would not have me.
Aziz, you have lost all that was ever valuable in you.
I've seen how that you've truly grieved. Here's the letter of Aziza.
I picked up the note and began to read.
I could not say. I had a secret for your ears, but my eyes say so. I could not say that you had caused my tears, but my eyes say so. I could not say my fingers mean I love you. I could not say my brows are meant to move you. I could not say my heart is here to prove you, but my eyes say so.
How many times have I heard that voice since?
I could not say I had
Could
a
not
secret
say
for
I
your
had a
ears,
secret for your ears,
but my eyes said so.
I
could not say that you had a secret for your ears, but my eyes said so. I could not say that you had caused my tears, but my eyes said so. I could not say my fingers mean I love you. I could not say my brows were meant to move. I could not say my heart is here to prove you, but my eyes said so. I could not say my heart is here to prove you, but my eyes said so. I could not say my heart is here to prove you, but my eyes said so. I could not say my heart is here to prove you, but my eyes said so. I could not say my heart is here to prove you, but my eyes said so. You taught my heart to burn while yours was resting. You taught my eyes to watch while your eyes slept. You put Aaron's head upon my breast lay nesting, and dripped another only while I wept. So take my great feet and set his verse above. She fears not death, for she has no love to leave me all alone. Why did you look away, my love, my love? Why did you leave me all alone? Why did you look away, my love, my love? Why did you leave me all alone? Why did you look away, my love, my love? Why did you leave me all alone?
I beat myself, gentlemen, for shame. And it is such great shame that compels me to borrow these robes of majesty. For when I ride out upon the gentle Tigris, and I see my reflection in the water, I dream I am a Khalifa. Instead of a fool who lost Aziza. How perfect it must be to be Harun al-Rashid. How perfect to be a Khalifa. How perfect just to be someone else.
My lord, it is dawn, and my father has returned with my shroud. My lord.
Tell me stories. Tell me many stories. Tell me quick.
When the 671st night had come, she said, there was once in the antiquity of time, and the passage of the age and of the moment. An infamous pedant called
And on the 951st night of summer, she said, on the 952nd
two fairies, not seeing the shield had, glad to trust the tongue feet. I stopped my ears with the enchanted song, no death or after. There is no need to fear. Life is long and made to laugh. But one death, but one fairy young man on her 900
and the girl, they tend to sell and live on me the 900
I must trick and find a man to journey for the
Beautiful travel spots.
When the 971st night had come, she said, when the 972nd
night had come, she said. And when the 975th night had come, she said. When the 976th night had come, she said. When the 977th night had come, she said. When the 978th night had come, she said. When the 979th night had come, she said. When the 979th night had come, she said. When the 981st night had come, she said. When the 982nd night had come, she said. When the 983rd night had come, she said. When the 984th night had come, she said. When the 985th night had come, she said. When the 986th night had come, she said. When the 987th night had come, she said. And when the 988th night had come, she said. And when the 989th night had come, she said. And when the 990th night had come, she said. And when the 991st night had come, she said. And when the 992nd night had come, she said. And when the 993rd night had come, she said. And when the 994th night had come, she said. And when the 995th night had come, she said. And when the 996th night had come, she said. And when the 997th night had come, she said. And when the 998th night had come, she said. And when the 999th night had come, she said. And when the 1000th night had come, she said.
Scheherazade, marvelous girl, you've unraveled the veil from my heart.
My king, I know.
You must never leave me now. You must stay here by me always and whisper in my ear, only to me. You are safe here now, I swear.
I know that hour's late, O auspicious king. But I've one more story, just one more very subtle tale to tell. Let it be 1001 nights before you grow weary of me.
I shall never grow weary.
Then listen, and I will tell you the tale of the forgotten melody. It has been passed down to us through the writings of Jacques of Nassoud, a great musician of our time, that one night
I went to visit Harun al-Rashid. I met a stranger there, a sheikh from Al-Hijaz.
Honorable musician, you will be pleased to know this man, for he is Al-Fadl, the grandson of Ma'bad of Al-Hijaz.
A benediction! Prayer and peace upon the grandson of the most accomplished musician of our age.
Perhaps if you are agreeable to him, he will sing one of his grandfather's songs, for he has a fine memory and charming voice.
Most noble Sheikh Al-Fadl, tell me if you will, how many songs your grandfather composed?
Only 60.
Would it be trespassing too far upon your patience to name your favorite?
Easily, the finest of them all. And the 43rd.
Without hesitation, he picked up his lute and began to sing. And as he sang, the walls of the room moved closer in to listen. And time was frozen in my blood. I left the prison in my skin and became other than myself. How can I describe? How can I? How?
Would you like to play it over with me again? Or shall I have you transcribed? I leave for Medina tomorrow, and I doubt I shall pass this way again.
Oh no, I will remember that. I will remember it all my life. Thank you, Sheikh Al-Fadl, and your grandfather Ma'bad, blessed among musicians. I hurried home and took carpets and pillows and windows and doors. This ancient song, which no one else knows, should now be mine. I shall keep it for myself and play it only for myself in solitude. I took down my lute and tuned it to perfection. But as Allah lives, I could not play that air which had moved me so. I could not remember one note of it. I could not even call to mind the mode in which it had been written. I can usually retain 100 couplets in their melodies, each listening once with a negligent ear. But this time it was as if an impenetrable woolen current had fallen in between the music and my mind. Night and day I racked my brains to spur them to remember, but it was useless. At last, I left behind my lute, my singing lessons, and all my students, and went journeying throughout Mosul, through Baghdad, and through Basra, and finally through the whole of Iraq, questioning all the oldest singers about Ma'bad's 43rd song, but none of them knew it or could help me to it. Rather than be ridden eternally by this obsession, I decided to make the far journey across the desert to Medina, to find the sheikh himself and beg him to sing the song again. I was in Basra by the river when I came to this decision. Suddenly, 3 young women appeared from nowhere.
A benediction, a benediction, traveler.
Let go, let go.
Will you not answer us?
Oh, please, just let me go.
Where is your passion for Ma'abad's 43rd song, Ishak? Have you given up your search? We were behind the curtain in the harem, Ishak. We watched you as that old man sang his songs. Ishak, I thought you had gone mad.
I am madder now than ever looking for that song. For pity's sake, let me go on.
If I can teach you those songs, will you still go to Medina?
Don't torture me.
By Allah, I know those songs and I may teach them to you.
I would give anything to hear it. Even if it were cut, even if it were sung off key. I would give 10 years of my life to recover one note of that song.
Ishak, we know your character. We know the breed with which you heard all your compositions. No pupil has ever heard more than one song sung from your own lips, or more than one song of which you've made yourself.
But my songs are my greatest possessions.
Ishak, how could you think that it is you who sings or plays, or that it's Al-Fadl of Medina, or Ma'bad of Al-Hijaz? It is not you, nor they, nor I. Don't you know that it is God?
Mistress.
Ishak, how could you have forgotten that it is God? You must swear to me that if I teach you the 43rd, then you will sing it in every other song you know to whoever you meet upon the road.
Mistress, I swear, and if I meet no one upon the road, then I will sing it to the insects, and to the stones, and to the sky itself.
And she said, then listen.
And she began that song in half voice in my ear. And her 2 companions began to dance. And the vault of heaven came closer in to listen. And the stars began to dance. And the river and all of its life began to dance.
What is it? Scheherazade, it is dawning. Your father has returned with your shroud.
My king,
How can that poor old man have lived so long in a silent house? How he must have suffered, and how frightened he must have been, for your sake all this time.
My king.
You and Dunyazad must go now to comfort him in his old age. door is open, Scheherazade, my bride. You must go now.
But my lord, what were my father to think of me? Were I to abandon my children?
What do you mean? What children? He took her up and sat her by his side.
She sent Dunyazad from the room.
But before she could explain,
Dunyazad returned. She had with her 3 small children.
A boy, just 1 year old.
and infant twin girls, born during the long days of sympathy the learned,
and hidden from the king.
What is there not to love?
Everyone would rejoice. Scheherazad's father, the wazir, was sent for.
And tell her she put away her shroud.
And Dunyazad was married.
Turkey's brought Shahzaman, and they lived year for year in all delight.
Knowing days each more admirable than the last.
And
the nights over Baghdad were whiter than the days.